Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, welcome to District 75's Evaluation Speech Contest. To lead us in this speech contest is our district champion of last year. Fellow Toastmasters, help me welcome the pride of Taipan Toastmasters Club and Division C. Let's all welcome Contest Master Kenley Go.
Evaluation is central to the Toastmasters experience. After all, effective evaluations are not only a great way to share our thoughts and suggestions for improvement, but they're also a way to give back to the speaker's effort, a way to motivate and encourage them for their future speeches. Which is why today we will be finding the best of the best and crown our next evaluation speech champion. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Before we begin this contest, I would like to remind everyone of the following guidelines. The members of the audience, role takers, judges, and contest officials are required to turn their videos off and stay muted during the conduct of the contest. Refrain from using the chat features of the virtual platform to avoid distraction. Once the contest has begun, only the contestant is allowed to turn his or her video and audio on. I, as the contest master, will ask the contestant to check his or her audio and camera before the introduction. Today's contests are closed-door events. The whole proceeding shall be recorded. And at the end of the contest at the district convention, the top 3 winners will be announced and proclaimed as the 2022 District 75 Speech Contest Champions in evaluation. So are you all ready? Let us now proceed with the evaluation speech contest. Today's contest will start with a timed 5 to 7 minute speech, which is referred to as the test speech. Evaluation contestants will then be escorted out of the main virtual room into a breakout room, and they will be given 5 minutes to prepare their evaluations. When the 5 minutes are up, the virtual marshal shall ensure that the contestants will not be able to access their evaluation notes until their time to speak. Contestants will be asked to come back to the main virtual room one at a time. Each contestant will then give a 2 to 3 minute evaluation of the test speech, which will be judged by a panel of judges. Contestants may remain in the room after they've delivered their evaluations. The contestants and judges have certified their eligibility. The contest chair and the chief judges have confirmed the eligibility of the contestants and the judges. Madam Contest Chair, have all the contestants and contest officials been briefed? Are the contestants present? And are we ready to proceed with the contest?
Contest Master, I confirm that all
Thank you,
contestants have been briefed. They are present in the room and we are ready to proceed.
Great, thank you, Madam Contest Chair. For the information of everyone, the Chief Judge for this contest is past District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Anne Margaret Danga. Madam Chief Judge, have all the judges been briefed? And are we ready with the contest, to proceed with the contest?
Yes, all judges have been briefed and they are eager to start with the contest.
Thank you, Madam Chief Judge. In order to allow the judges time to mark their judging forms, we will observe 1 minute of silence after each contestant's speech. Timekeepers, will one of you signal me when 1 minute of silence is up?
Will do.
Thank you, timekeeper. The speaking order for the contest was determined earlier by having our contestants draw for position. The order for today's contest will be Cristito Dao Anis, Ken Nang, Carl Lawrence Diamante, Leonardo Nogas Jr., Giovanni Gulanes, and Raul de la Vega. Each contestant will be introduced only by his or her name, which I will announce twice. Are there questions from the contestants or our role takers and contest officials? If there are no questions regarding these proceedings, the evaluation speech contest will now begin. Our test speaker for today, Carlo Hoquino, setting priorities. Setting priorities, Carlo Hoquino.
Do you struggle in setting your priorities in life? Or do you find that it is often hard to know if you've made the right choice? No matter how you look at it, setting priorities is hard, right? Doing one thing inevitably means you're not doing something else. It can be very difficult when you're not sure what your priorities and goals are. If you can create your goals in the right way, it will be much easier to set priorities that are aligned with them. And making decisions won't be as hard anymore. These past few weeks, I am having a hard time setting priorities in life. My academic life, leadership life, and even my personal life. I am juggling a lot of responsibilities and it keeps draining me throughout the week. Imagine waking up in the morning and staring at the ceiling for a long time because you didn't even know where to start and what to do first. My mind keeps whispering to me saying, you need to be productive. You need to finish all the tasks on time because all of these things matter. And then I talk to myself, why do I need these goals? What are the results that it will bring to me? What are the feelings that I will feel after I accomplish it? Then the big question arises. How? Where and how can I start? Should I start with my academic life, answer all my assessment tasks, prepare myself for class discussions and quizzes, or should I jump into my personal life wherein I need to put my life together because my routine has been messed up? And I skip a lot of days on my journal. I cannot decide where and how. Not until I attended a Toastmasters meeting and the theme was put first things first from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And you know what? I feel that it is a sign for me when I heard you are the creator. You are in charge. And it made me realize that I need to manage my life, my purpose, my values, my roles, and most especially my priorities. If you put first things first, you are organizing and managing time and events according to your priorities, and slowly, I am going back on track. One of the first things you can think about when you have to make a decision involving what to prioritize is to think about your definition of setting priorities. What is your own definition of priorities? All of us here have our own definition of priorities, right? It depends on the level and the depth of it. You may be someone who thinks about setting priorities on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis to manage tasks and maximize your productivity. Ask yourself, what do you want to do in your life overall? What matters to you? Now, I am slowly going back on track because I already set my goals and prioritize things that matter to me. I started with my personal life, creating a habit that works for me in order to be productive. Step by step, I am enjoying the journey. I already determined the things that I want so that I will not be lost in my goals. Things begins to get much clearer when you look at things this way. It's hard to know what you want to accomplish even on a task level until you've examined what you're trying to accomplish in the bigger picture. That's why you need to determine what you want. What are your life priorities or goals before you even think about daily priorities or tasks? Prioritization isn't just about time management. It is also about setting priorities or personal priorities and deciding what you want in your life and what you don't. Friend, fellow Toastmasters and guests, did you know that the word priority came into the English language in the 1400s? It was singular. It meant the very first or prior thing. It stayed singular for the next 500 years. Only in the 1900s did we pluralize the term and start talking about priorities. Illogically, we reasoned that by changing the word, we could bend reality. Somehow, we would now be able to have multiple first things. And remember, as Stephen Covey would say, putting first things first means organizing and executing around your most important priorities. It is living and being driven by the principles you value most, not by the agendas and forces surrounding you. Back to you, Contest Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Carlo. The contestants will now be led to a breakout room for the 5-minute preparation time. Everyone in the main room is required to stay on mute with video cameras turned off during this period. Tech team, please let me know once all the contestants are in the breakout room.
All of the contestants are in the breakout room, Contest Master.
All right, thank you. Timer, please let me know when 5 minutes is up. Okay, so now let me welcome back our test speaker, Toastmaster Carlo. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Toastmaster Ken.
Hi, Toastmaster Carlo, which club are you from?
I am from Mabuhay Toastmasters Club from Division K, Area 1.
Division K. And how long have you been a Toastmaster?
Actually, I am only a year in Toastmaster. I started joining last year, March 2021, and yes, I am enjoying the journey here in Toastmaster.
That's good to hear. In your speech, Toastmaster Carlo, you mentioned about first things first. So let me ask you, what's the first thing you'll do after this contest?
Okay. I think after this contest, I need to do all my backlogs in schools because I have so many backlogs in answering all my assessment tasks and quizzes.
I feel like you're an achiever in school. You mentioned about being in school and having an academic life. So can you share a bit about what you're taking right now?
Actually, I am now a second year student. I'm taking a Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English, and yes, I really want to be a professional teacher someday, and yes, it is my passion and my dream job to become an English teacher in the future.
That's great to hear. So how does Toastmasters fit into this bigger picture of becoming an English teacher someday?
Yes, you know what, Toastmaster Candy, being in a Toastmaster is really a big opportunity for me because I think that this will help me because I am a future teacher and as a teacher, you need to communicate well. You need to connect to your students in order for them to learn, right? So it is Toastmaster is a great avenue for me to improve my public speaking skills, and also not just my public speaking skills, but also my leadership skills, since I am an active student leader since high
Right.
school.
Great. It's good to hear. So will you consider joining a contest in the future as a contestant this time?
Yes, Toastmaster Kelly. I'm looking forward to that.
We're all looking forward to it as well. So Toastmaster Carlo, what was your inspiration for this speech that you shared with us this afternoon? Was there a moment, or what was your thought process in coming up with this speech?
Actually, I came up with this speech because I last week I am really tired. I feel like I'm mentally and physically tired, and I am out of track with everything in my life, with my personal life, my academic life, and then when I listen a podcast, it's actually from a podcast I'm inspired. I learned that setting priorities is very important because in life we need to set priorities in order to achieve our goals, right? And then every morning when I woke up, I always look at the ceiling and then I think what to do first. And my mind is really, my mind is I am mentally tired. And then when I heard a podcast that saying that you are in charge, you are the creator, then I really get up in my bed and then start to do things that really matters to me, and then that's the whole story of the speech.
Right. I agree, and I think that's very relatable. Sometimes when we have a lot of things going on and we don't know where to start, it helps that we prioritize, put them down in a list and start working on them. It's very great to hear. So would you mind sharing which podcast this is? Maybe for the benefit of the audience.
Yes, I'm actually listening to a Small Talk podcast by Alec Cuenca. I really love the podcast because it gives a lot of motivational speech from him, and it is really inspiring and motivating as well.
Right. It's good to hear. So everyone take note. Okay, Toastmaster Carlo, is there anyone you'd like to dedicate this speech to?
I think right now I would like to dedicate this speech to all the people who is still want to prioritize things, or to all the people who are still mentally tired or physically tired. Because it is okay to rest. It is okay to rest. It is productive to take a rest, but always put in mind to prioritize things that really matters in our life, because the results will be good, and we will much feel better if we prioritize things.
Right.
Time is up. Contest Master.
5 minutes is up. Timer, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So once again, thank you very much, Toastmaster Carlo. Thank you for reminding us about our setting the right priorities in life. Okay, we will now begin with contestant number 1. So can I check if contestant number 1 is back in the main room? Okay, so I believe contestant number 1 is now in the main room. Contestant number 1, please test your audio by saying good morning and ensure that your camera is working.
Good morning.
All right, loud and clear. Can you confirm that the timer is pinned and visible to you?
I confirm that it's visible.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 1, Cristito Dao Anis. Cristito Dao Anis, Contestant number 1.
Are you having a difficulty in setting your priorities? Or do you even know your priorities? Fellow Toastmasters and friends, and especially to our speaker, Toastmaster Carlo, good morning. And thank you for sharing with us today on how we can set our priorities. Toastmaster Carlo, personally, I would like to commend you on your speech. First, on your structure, you started with a question, 2 questions, and then you went into the body and then gave us your closing lines and reminding us not to be distracted by the agendas of others surrounding us. So first, structure. Second is, I like that you gave us your personal challenge and the turnaround. Specifically, when you shared that you were once staring at the ceiling and you don't know how to begin your day. That was a clear picture of your challenge. And the turnaround, one of which was when you attended the meeting and the theme was put first things first, right? And third, you gave us some tips, that is to clearly define what our priorities are, and also that theme of putting first things first, and also some trivia about the word priority. And it reminds us to really define what our priorities are, or rather, what your priority is. So Toastmaster Carlo, as you go on and encourage other people to be more productive and be more excellent in their life by setting priorities, consider these 3 suggestions. Number 1, it's this: to include specifics, for example, in your definition. So what is your personal definition of priority? Also, another opportunity for specifics is an example. To you, what are your first things? So share with us those. Family over work, or health over fun? I don't know. Give us some specifics. Second is to give clearer emphasis on key sentences. Example, on putting first things first. You said, put first things first. I think it's better to say, put first things first. Okay? Clearer emphasis. And third is to enhance your closing. Maybe you can give us your quick summary and say, so remember to define, identify your priorities, and resolve to do it. And then give us your call to action. Overall, Toastmaster Carlo, thank you for sharing us your message. Consider these 3 suggestions and you will be more effective in encouraging others to be more clear in their priorities.
We will observe 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots. May I ask the virtual marshal to please escort the next contestant to the main room.
One minute is up.
Thank you. Contestant number 2, please test your audio by saying good morning and ensure that your camera is working.
Good morning.
Thank you. Can you
You-
confirm that the timer is pinned and visible to you?
Yes, the timer is pinned and visible to me right now.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 2, Ken Nang. Ken Nang, contestant number 2.
Have you had troubles setting priorities? Because just like Toastmaster Carlo, man, I did have trouble setting priorities. A pleasant morning to you, contest chair, contest master, fellow Toastmasters, and to you, Toastmaster Carlo. After you delivered your speech, I was like, whoa, he's right. Because Toastmaster Carlo, today I've observed that you excelled in two aspects of your speech as you're delivering your message today. Firstly, as a student, I observed that you were able to educate us with a relevant challenge and a topic, setting priorities and how hard it can be. I feel that's something that everybody struggles with. And today, you challenged us with an excellent challenge. Fellow Toastmasters, today, Toastmaster Carlo was able to build a foundation with us by giving us an excellent challenge. And having that challenge gets us from the get-go to listen to Toastmaster Carlo from the very start. And Toastmaster Carlo also, as a leader, you prompted us urgently by the way that you delivered your speech today. Like you wanted to share with us something important and wanting us to notice that challenge that we all go through. Now, Toastmaster Carlo also, as a Toastmaster and as a speaker, allow me to share with you some priorities that you can set so you can bring your speech from great to even more excellent. Priority number 1, what is on the top? For you, define your priority. You invited us today to define what a priority is for us. I was waiting and I was hoping to share, to know what priority is for you, so that I could compare, or so that we could compare what a priority is in terms of your definition and our definition to see where the similarities and differences are. Priority number 2, feel free to organize your speech through different concrete tips. Right? Tip number 1, share a story and share a takeaway from that. Tip number 2, share a story, take away from that. That way, we'll be able to follow the flow of your speech in a clear and organized manner. And finally, share with priority number 3, share with us an RTB, a reason to believe. Toastmaster Carlo, how? Give us the hows, the perfect concrete examples of how we can set our own priorities. Give us concrete step-by-step processes that will allow us to digest it better. And of course, something for us to believe, or something for me to believe, is share with us a before and after transformation of how you were able to apply these tips. Put them all together, Toastmaster Carlo. In summary and overall, you educated us and you prompted us urgently with a challenge. Today, allow me to give you priorities to define, to organize through tips, and to give us an RTB, the reason to believe on how we can set priorities. Toastmaster Carlo, you are an excellent speaker. And today, you put that all together, you'd be able to challenge others and help them set their priorities as well. Contest chair.
1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots. Virtual Marshal, kindly escort the next contestant to the main room.
1 minute is up.
Thank you. Contestant number 3, can you please test your audio by saying good morning and ensure that your camera is working?
Good morning.
Thank you. Can you confirm that the timer is pinned and visible to you?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 3, Carl Lawrence Diamante. Carl Lawrence Diamante, contestant number 3.
Life is like a game of chess. You can't undo your moves, but you can always make the next one better. Fellow Toastmasters, today, Toastmaster Carlo has shown us that we can always make that step to make it better. Toastmaster Carlo, allow me to evaluate your speech in the context of chess. The king is the most important piece. And I feel in your speech, the most important piece was your choice of theme. Set first things first, setting priorities. And you were able to contextualize this by saying that you were struggling with academic, leadership, and personal priorities. But you were also able to shore it up with how you were able to address them. Moreover, Toastmaster Carlo, I feel that your most powerful piece, the queen of your speech, was your descriptive language. The way you described waking up, looking at the ceiling, and then feeling as if you don't know what to do first. I feel that your descriptions are very powerful. Moreover, you made use of hand gestures to accentuate your message. Also, Toastmaster Carlo, there is the bishop. The bishop is a chess piece that can move diagonally. And this diagonal line can be represented by your organization of your speech. You started with your theme of setting priorities. You were able to relate it to your own life. And then you ended with where it actually started, what prioritization actually means. I feel that these were your strong points. However, Toastmaster Carlo, just like in chess, there are good moves, but there will always be a better move. So allow me to have some suggestions for improvement for you, Toastmaster Carlo. Let us contextualize it with the knight. Now the knight can move in an L shape, and the knight is the only piece that can jump over other pieces. If a horse is to jump, it has to be grounded first in connection to the ground. So Toastmaster Carlo, I would suggest that you work on your eye contact and connection with the audience. Try to tell a more personal story, perhaps. You might want to incorporate that in your next speech. Moreover, Toastmaster Carlo, there is the rook. Now, the rook is the chess piece that moves vertically and horizontally. Toastmaster Carlo, I felt that during your speech, you were a bit too fast-paced. Try to integrate a bit more of those pauses in between so that the audience can really mull over your deep thoughts for them. All in all, Toastmaster Carlo, if we incorporate the lessons of chess to our own speech, we can be like the pawn. The pawn may be the most vulnerable piece, but the more it moves forward, the closer it gets to promotion. In the same way, if you keep moving forward in your Toastmasters journey, you can become an even better person than who you were yesterday. Back to you, our contest master.
We will observe 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots. Virtual Marshal, kindly escort the next contestant to the main room.
One minute is up.
Thank you. Contestant number 4, please test your audio by saying good morning and ensure that your camera is working.
My camera, I think, is good. How about my audio?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Thank you so much.
Can you also confirm that the timer is pinned and visible to you?
I can see the timer.
Great. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 4, Leonardo Nogas Jr. Leonardo Nogas Jr., contestant number 4.
Wait a sec, I can't see the timer. Look at the bigger picture. Find what matters. Only then can you effectively prioritize. Ladies and gentlemen, contest chair, today we bore witness to an amazing speech by Toastmaster Carlo on setting priorities. Toastmaster Carlo, allow me to liken my evaluation on something akin to priorities, to-do lists. Let me first share the things that were at the top of your list and you definitely checked as your strengths. The first thing that you checked is your use of rhetorical devices. Ladies and gentlemen, recall when Toastmaster Carlo said his mind was whispering to him of the things that he needed to do. That was an effective use of rhetorical devices. It made us feel and imagine what you were definitely trying to share. Checking off your list. Another thing that I want to check off your list is your strength in adding dialogue to your speech. Toastmaster Carlo, you sprinkled a lot of dialogue in your speech, especially when you were asking the audience a lot of times, as well as asking yourself. It made us feel like there were different characters in the story. Very engaging and very effective, Toastmaster Carlo. 2 things to check, strengths check, congratulations. And just like there are things that we want to check in your to-do list, I want to add more things for you to check the next time you do your speech. I want to add to your to-do list. The first thing I want to add is add an effective attention grabber. Studies show that the best way to start a speech is by citing a statistic. Rather than asking a question to Toastmaster Carlo, cite a statistic. For instance, only 18% of people who set their priorities get to do it. I don't think I'm part of the 18%. Having an attention grabber at the start would definitely have your audience hooked and ready to listen to your speech. Toastmaster Carlo, the second thing I'd like to add to your to-do list is the use of props. We loved your stories. We loved the way you provided the game. But if you added props to show how busy it was during the start of your speech, it would have been very effective. For example, when you shared about academics, share a prop about academics, leadership life, personal life, and show to us what it was like a jumble before you prioritized. And at the end of your speech, provide a uniting prop to show to us that you finally got it in order. The third thing that I want to add to your to-do list or your list of priorities, Toastmaster Carlo, is to reconfigure your flow to add the information at the beginning of your speech. We noticed that you shared a research on what priorities were meant at the end of your speech. And I really think you could add it at the beginning to add more meat to the discussions as you went on with your speech. Toastmaster Carlo, this is the to-do list I'm offering you. Definitely you checked your strengths when it comes to effective use of rhetorical devices, power of dialogue, and I want you to add further in your list of priorities an attention grabber, utilize props, and as well as reconfigure your flow to add the information at the beginning. Checking this list, Toastmaster Carlo, will ensure that your next speech will be such a bang. And I'm pretty sure the last one you're going to check is you winning another speech competition. Contest chair.
We will observe 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Virtual marshals, kindly escort the next contestant to the main room.
1 minute is up.
Thank you. Contestant number 5, please test your audio by saying good morning and ensure that your camera is working.
Good morning.
Can you confirm that the timer is pinned and visible to you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 5, Giovanni Gulanes. Giovanni Gulanes, contestant number 5.
An awesome speech makes the audience in love and involved. Contest chair, my fellow Toastmasters and guests, and Carlo in particular. Good morning. That's exactly how I felt. I fell in love and I felt involved when I was listening to the speech of Carlo. Carlo, I'd like to say something, 3 good points about you. And I'd like you to be aware of this so you could use it in other speeches that you have. First, you have a clear central message. You may have stories right from the beginning, imagining a thing, then a mental image you have in mind. Then you have another story in school. It looks like you veer away, but actually at the end, you're talking about priorities. There was a clear, coherent dovetailing between paragraphs, making it a very clear message, your thesis statement of your speech, and admire you for that. Second is you engage the audience, you involve yourself by asking questions. Questions are good engaging tools. Like you ask, do you struggle with your priorities? And when you move yourself closer, as if I'm drawn to the camera, that's exactly how you involve, you make your audience participate. And by asking what matters most to you, you engage the audience so well. The other is the vocal variety. You know, vocal variety doesn't only mean changing or varying your voices, but you put character. You try to match that voice with the character. Your character is the guy who learned a lot from it, and you'd like to share your soft but low voice, but soft in terms of pacing. That's very suspenseful, and I'm drawn at the edge of my seat trying to listen what's you're gonna say next. And as regards areas of improvement, you can improve a lot. I'd like to cite 2, Carlo. One is, I admire your storytelling tools, but how I wish that story, instead of telling somebody lost in a game, then suddenly get the point and told something about yourself, it could have been a lot better, Carlo, when it was about yourself, about when you failed something, when you failed an exam, or you failed an achievement, or a contest, and you told myself, Carlo, that's fine, and you're gonna be okay next. Because telling your personal story is more original and more authentic. And lastly, you have to ask yourself, the audience, what's in store for us? I think you have to say something about the audience, make them feel that there's a gap that you'd like to put into with your speech. I think you have to say something. If you don't prioritize things, this is what's going to happen to you. But on the whole, you have a clear, very clear central message. You engage your audience very well, good vocal variety, and you have to improve your storytelling, and you have to answer yourself, so what? So you involve the audience very well. Back to you, contest chair.
We will observe 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Virtual Marshal, kindly escort the next contestant to the main room.
1 minute is up.
Thank you. Contestant number 6, please test your audio by saying good morning and ensure that your camera is working. Contestant number 6, you're on mute.
Good morning. Am I audible, Mr. Contest Master?
Yes, loud and clear.
Thank
Can you also confirm that the timer is pinned and visible to you?
Let me. Yes, I can see the timer.
Okay, great. Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 6, Raul de la Vega. Raul de la Vega, contestant number 6.
Toastmaster Carlo, if I had listened to your speech maybe 5 years ago, I'd be a millionaire. And contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and friends, I'd like to share a few aspects on the persuasive speech that Carlo had shared with us a while ago. First, notice that in his introduction, he's able to catch our attention. How does he do it? He asks us the question, do you struggle in setting priorities? And he says, you can create your goals. By giving this introduction, he's able to preview to us and what he's going to share, and he captures our interest. Second, I'd say he was effective in making the audience the hero. How does he do it? With phrases like, ask what matters, decide what you want in life. These bits of advice makes the audience feel that their needs are cared for, and it enlivens their interest with what Toastmaster Carlo's about to share. Third, I appreciate the research that Carlo had put into this. Notice the quote that he gives from Stephen Covey, put first things first, as well as the definition of priority back in the 1600s, very much in tune in the importance of setting priorities. With such consistency, it sets the stage for audience to say, hey, this is something that I'd like to see. And mind you, the definition of the priority also helps as a metaphor. Now, Toastmaster Carlo, let me share a couple of tips that you could try as you continue to persuade others. First, I wish that you had continued to complete the story. I noticed at first you said how at first you struggled with your personal life. You talked about your personal life, academic, and then leadership life. Later on, you talked when in the conclusion, you mentioned how your personal life benefited. Now, I wish you could have added the academic and leadership results. That way, audience would say, hey, it works for him, it could work for us, thereby persuading them more. Second, I wish that you would have put more vocal variety, which would be evocative for our audience. This conveys emotion. It makes emotion pivotal in persuading the audience. So you could have said something like, what results will I get? Can I finish them on time? In doing so, definitely you would keep audience persuasion. In summary, terrific introduction, making the audience the hero, and then adding research. I really encourage that you try sharing the results of the story as well as using evocative language through vocal variety. Fellow Toastmasters, Carlo's reminder to set priority is that light that would eclipse our confusion on how to begin. Thanks for the speech, Carlo. Mr. Contest Chair.
May we please have silence until all judge results have been received. Judges, please communicate with the Chief Judge when you have completed them. Madam Chief Judge, please let me know when all the ballots have been received.
Contest Master, all ballots are in.
All right, thank you, Madam Chief Judge. So ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the evaluation speech contest. Let us give our contestants a resounding round of applause. Congratulations for making the lives of our judges difficult. So at this point, we will now proceed to the distribution of certificates of participation. Okay, and the first certificate of participation for the evaluation speech contest, District 75 Finals 2022, is presented to Toastmaster Cristito Dao Anis.
Ready in 3, 2, 1. Done.
Okay, thank you. So Toastmaster Cristito, which club or division do you represent, and how long have you been in Toastmasters?
I'm a member of Pine City Toastmasters Club, Division G, and it's my 12th year in Toastmasters.
12th year, wow. And how is your experience in today's district finals?
It was challenging and fun at the same time.
Okay, that's good to hear. So is this something you'd want to do yearly from this point on?
Well, I will not say yearly, but we'll see.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you very much and congratulations, Toastmaster Cristito.
Thank you, Contest Master.
Next, I will be presenting the certificate of participation for the evaluation speech contest, District 75 Finals 2022 to Toastmaster Ken Nang.
Whenever you're ready, 3, 2, 1. Done.
All right, thank you. Toastmaster Ken.
Thank you.
Which club or division do you represent and how long have you been in Toastmasters?
I am from Tamarao Toastmasters Club from Division A, and I've been with Toastmasters for a year and a half,
Wow.
just shy of 2 years.
Wow. And what for you has been the most challenging part in preparing for this contest today?
Oh, it's the entire journey, the preparation for evaluation contests, having to go through coaching sessions. It's having to prioritize the work well with my actual work and extracurricular activities and Toastmasters. It was a challenge. It was definitely a challenge, but a fun one too.
Okay, good to hear. So Toastmaster Ken, is there a mentor or a coach that you'd like to thank for today's performance?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Toastmaster Craig from Division A also. And I'd like to thank the entire Tamarao Toastmasters Club also for cheering me on since the club level. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you and congratulations, Toastmaster Ken.
Thank you, thank you.
Next, I will be presenting the certificate of participation for the evaluation speech contest, District 75 Finals 2022 to Carl Lawrence Diamante.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Done.
All right, thank you. Toastmaster Carl, which club or division do you represent and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
Good morning. I represent Barangay Toastmasters Club from Division D. I've been a Toastmaster for 7 years.
Nice. Okay. And Toastmaster Carl, do you play chess?
I play chess, but not very well.
Okay. And which is your favorite piece?
The piece that wins.
The piece that wins. All right. Toastmaster Carl, how did you prepare for today's contest?
Oh, I tried to prepare by joining as many evaluations as possible across different clubs, but all in good fun. It's the experience that matters the most.
That's true. That's true. That's very good to hear. So congratulations, Toastmaster Carl.
Thank you, Contest Master.
Next, I will be presenting the Certificate of Participation for the Evaluation Speech Contest District 75 Finals 2022 to Leonardo Nogas Jr.
3, 2, 1. Done.
Thank you. Toastmaster Leonardo, which club or division do you represent and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
Hello, good morning, Contest Master. I am part of
Morning.
Division M, Meralco Toastmasters Club, and I've been a Toastmaster for 8 years, I believe.
8 years. Wow. Okay. Toastmaster Leonardo, is there someone whom you dedicate today's performance to?
Of course, my coach. I'd like to dedicate this to my coach, Craig Manabal, same coach as Ken's. Okay, and also to Meralco Toastmasters. Whew.
Good to hear. And how was today's experience for you at the district finals?
Today's experience was very nerve-wracking. I've had an experience with table topics before. I can definitely say evaluation is a cut above table topics. Very hard, very challenging, and very fulfilling once we get to the end of it.
Right. But I thought you did really well today, so congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Toastmaster Leonardo.
That means a lot coming from the previous champion. Thank you.
Next, I will be presenting the Certificate of Participation to the Evaluation Speech Contest District 75 Finals 2022 to Giovanni Gulanes.
Can we move back po a little? Okay, so capturing in 3, 2, 1. Done.
Okay, thank you. Toastmaster Giovanni, which club or division do you represent and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
Yeah, I come from Palm City, Toastmasters Club here in Davao del Norte, Tagum City, Davao del Norte. Yeah,
Okay.
and I've been a Toastmaster for like almost 2 years.
2 years. Wow. Okay. So Toastmaster Giovanni, what's your favorite thing about giving evaluations?
Similar to table topics, you got to think on your feet. And what's challenging here is you really have to be analytical. You have to attack not just on the surface, but it's an in-depth analysis. And that makes it difficult.
Right. So would you have any tips for upcoming aspiring champions or youth contestants?
I've watched a lot of YouTubes on that, and well, the best thing about this journey is actually not winning, but you know, after learning all those YouTubes and tips, it made us a lot better evaluator.
Right. It's always that personal development. Okay, so thank you and congratulations for a job well done, Toastmaster Giovanni. Finally, I'd like to present the Certificate of Participation for the Evaluation Speech Contest, District 75, Finals 2022 to Raul de la Vega.
Okay, capturing in 3, 2, 1. Done.
Thank you. Toastmaster Raul, which club or division do you represent and how long have you been a Toastmaster?
Oh, I'm with the Alabang Community Toastmasters for Division H. I joined Toastmasters in 1997.
Wow. And I assume this isn't your first contest?
I've been to a few. I've been to a few.
Okay, so for you, what sets evaluation apart from the other categories?
There's a lot of excitement in it, especially when you don't know what to expect.
Right.
I like the fact that you really have to listen carefully and be analytical, especially when you share your thoughts. I enjoy it, especially when it gets to help the members of your club.
That's
I like
true.
it.
Very good to hear. So is there anyone you'd like to dedicate today's performance to?
Oh, well, I had a few friends who helped prepare me for this. Of course, Director Lea Catapia and our AD, that was Nelson, and of course, Inday AD, who has also been training me for this event.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Raul, and congratulations on your performance today.
Thank you.
So once again, congratulations to all of our contestants for doing a splendid job today. And now, may I call to the stage our contest chair, distinguished Toastmaster Janet Para, to announce the winners.